that time, people. We are back to our Bears game preview. So let's go ahead and start talking about it. What is going on, y'all? Faiz Sports all back at it with another video talking, of course, NFL here to talk about the Chicago Bears. And boy, am I hyped up here because we are officially at our very first game preview of the season. So the regular season is pretty much here, people. We're talking week 1, Bears 49ers. So before I get into my preview where I'm going to be breaking down the game and giving you guys a prediction at the very end of my final score, I need you guys to go ahead and hit that big red subscribe button down below, people. That is all I ask you guys. Please hit the subscribe button because I'm going to bring you guys game previews and post-game shows as well, and a bunch of other content during the season. So please just subscribe and hit the bell icon, all right? So you're notified every time I drop these videos. It's very important, guys, and also follow me on all my social media platforms. Okay, so with that being said, I've been hyped and excited, and I couldn't wait to do this, and I'm probably doing this still a little bit earlier than usual, but I just couldn't wait. So here we go, Bears 49ers week 1. Let's get into it. All right, so here we go. Got to do the hand rub here. Let's start with the game line. So the 49ers, as of right now, that I'm looking at and checking the lines, are 7-point favorites against Chicago Bears on the road. This game's happening in Soldier Field, and yet the 49ers are 7-point favorites. That's a big spread, people. All right, not sure if you guys take a look at these lines like I do, but that's a huge number, which is kind of surprising to me here that the 49ers are getting that much respect. But let me break it down further, okay? Over-under for this game, 41.5, so pretty low because these are two offenses that aren't actually very explosive. And so Vegas is predicting a lower scoring game. I kind of agree with that. And so taking a look further now at the spread, the 49ers last year, we all know they made it to the playoffs, and then they upset the Green Bay Packers, which every Bears fan was happy to see that. But then obviously they lost the game after that. And so the 49ers have had a pretty interesting offseason since, losing in the playoffs. They've basically turned the keys over to Trey Lance, who's the new starting quarterback. That's the biggest update really with this team because for the most part, they still have their key players, right? Your Deebo Samuel, George Kittle, Nick Bosa, Eli Mitchell, guys like that. So they're all still there, but they went ahead and they changed starting quarterbacks in Trey Lance, who is now the QB1. So Trey Lance is going to be who we are going to be seeing in this game, and it's going to be the Trey Lance versus Justin Fields show because these are the two quarterbacks from the same draft class. We all know Trey Lance was taken ahead of Justin Fields, so it's going to be fun to see this, okay? So with that being said, not too many changes for the 49ers besides the quarterback change, but Jimmy Garoppolo is coming back. He is the backup now to Trey Lance. The 49ers surprisingly brought him back for another season when everybody, including myself, thought he was going to get cut or traded. Okay, so that is as far as the 49ers. We all know the Bears went through a number of changes in the offseason with the new regime, with the new coaching staff, with all of the new players coming in, a wide receiving core change. You've kind of got your defense change, the secondaries, the rookies, all of that. All right. So you guys probably know a lot of the changes that the Bears have went through, and Justin Fields entering year 2 with a new offense under offensive coordinator Luke Getsy. We've seen the changes. Okay. So when I take a look at this game, the first thing I kind of think about is Trey Lance and what he brings to the table. Because to me, I really feel like the 49ers, I'm just going to say right now, have more talent everywhere versus the Bears. They have more talent on the offense and they have more talent on defense. That is pretty much, almost an objective fact in the sense of you just take a look at the players. Like I mentioned, Deebo Samuel, who had a monster year last year. George Kittle, one of the best tight ends in football. Eli Mitchell, very productive season last year. Those three players, like the Bears don't have game changers like that on offense. And then we take a look at defense with Nick Bosa. And by the way, I didn't even mention Trent Williams, one of the best offensive linemen on the offense side of the football. Take a look at the defense with Nick Bosa, and that defense, it's a top 10 unit in football. So offense and defense, the 49ers have more talent than the Bears. I'm just going to admit that right now because it's true. But does that mean that they are locked to win this game? Not quite. Let me explain. So the Chicago Bears and the 49ers played last season, and the 49ers did win this game 33-22, but it was a lot closer than people remember. The Bears were leading that game 16-15 heading to the fourth quarter, and then they blew that lead. Remember, that was the game where Justin Fields had that incredible run against the 49ers into the end zone. He had over 100 rushing yards in that game, by the way, and a touchdown. So that game was a lot closer than people think. Okay, so with the Bears, I take a look at the fact that, look, okay, we don't have as much talent as the 49ers. That's clear. But how can you win this game? What are the keys for the Bears? Well, the key is to take advantage of Trey Lance and his lack of experience. So his inexperience. Trey Lance has only started 2 games in this league. All right. And the game that he won was against the Texans. The Texans are one of the worst teams in football. And any competent quarterback could probably have won that game with the supporting cast the 49ers have. So that wasn't really too impressive. And I'm not a big believer in Trey Lance, and neither is apparently the 49ers, or are the 49ers, because they wouldn't have brought back Jimmy Garoppolo if they believed in Trey Lance. So it seems to me that there's some sort of crack here with Trey Lance that the 49ers have. They're kind of hedging their bet against Trey Lance panning out. Now, again, he could still prove me wrong and a lot of guys wrong and ball out and absolutely be incredible. But I'm just telling you, I feel like Trey Lance, lack of experience, didn't play as many games as Justin Fields, and he's a guy who's more of a runner per se than throwing the football. He does have an arm for sure, but I'm just saying right now I'm not a believer in Trey Lance. So the Bears need to take advantage of Trey Lance, throw a lot of disguises at him on defense, make him think twice, think 3 times, make him run, get outside the pocket. Well, actually, you probably don't want him to run because he's actually good at that, but you want to make him have a difficult time, right? Because we know that their skill level players are very good, but we don't know if Trey Lance is good. So that's going to be the biggest key here for the Bears, and the biggest advantage for them is even though the 49ers are the more talented team and the team that's favored, the Bears have the element of surprise here with Trey Lance. And also the fact is, we're at home, right? So you're talking about a rookie quarterback essentially, because he didn't play a lot last year, coming into Soldier Field, first real game in terms of, because he didn't play a lot, and it's on the road, and we're talking about a defense that was revamped a bit, right? Our secondary's pretty good, or projected to be pretty good. I think with what it was last season, which was absolutely awful, 32nd in rating allowed, and then 26 in yards per average, like it was bad, our secondary. But now with Kyler Gordon, Jaquan Brisker, guys like that, the secondary has improved, and I believe this defense overall, I'm not going to say it's an elite unit, but I will say it's a respectable unit, like middle of the pack, if you will. And so Matt Eberflus, here's a good nugget for you guys. Matt Eberflus's defense last year with the Colts, they held the 49ers to just 18 points. All right? They had 2 takeaways, and they held them to less than 300 yards. Like they won that game against the 49ers, the Colts, at 30-18. Now, it's not the same roster, but it's the same head coach with the defense that has talent. So why can't he do the same thing here? So that's another advantage for the Chicago Bears, is Matt Eberflus had a brilliant game plan against the 49ers in which he held them to 18 points, and they won that game. So he needs to do the same thing here, make life difficult for Trey Lance, and get this defense to absolutely dominate in this game. All right, so now let's switch over to the offensive side of things here, right? What should or can this Bears offense do against that vaunted 49ers defense, which is very solid? And I would tell you that, the offensive line, it starts up there first and foremost, right? We're talking about Braxton Jones starting at left tackle, a 5th-round rookie. He's played incredible, but we still need to see him in game action and potentially going up against Nick Bosa. Man, I'm scared. I'm really scared for Braxton Jones, but I'll tell you this much. Luke Getsy, I trust him. I think he's going to design an offense like he's been doing in the preseason to tailor it for Justin Fields, where, you're getting the ball out quick because the 49ers can get around the edge and get to Justin Fields, but you're also maybe bringing in extra protection, running 2 tight end sets, letting the running back chip on the line, like get as many bodies on the offensive line to help protect Justin Fields as possible. Continue with the bootlegs, the play action, but get the ball out quick, because we know that it's important for Justin Fields to get the ball out quick, but also get Justin Fields on the run. We saw him run against this team last year and was very successful in doing so. So as far as the offensive side of things here, I think the offensive line is the biggest concern for me. If they can somewhat hold up and not let Nick Bosa absolutely dominate. And then I think that the Bears should be okay and still be able to be decent on the offensive side. And again, a lot of that is scheme, being able to get the ball out quick. And Luke Getsy and Justin Fields need to find a way to do that. All right, so that's really it. I'm not expecting the Bears to put up a lot of points here on offense. I'm just expecting it to be enough. So overall, with everything I've said in regards to Matt Eberflus's defense neutralizing the 49ers last year, with Trey Lance and his lack of experience and the Bears being able to take advantage of that, with the offensive line, which has looked better for the Bears, with Tevin Jenkins, with, Braxton Jones and Cody Whitehair and the rest of the line, with it looking better, and Justin Fields coming out for his last preseason game, which he had his best game thus far, and the offense looked good, and that was against a good defense in the Browns. I know they weren't playing all their best players, but still, taking all of those things into account, I'm telling you here right now, folks, even though the 49ers are the better team, my gut feeling tells me the Bears win this game. Okay, I think they shock the world and win this game. The 7-point spread does not make much sense to me here, people. At worst, I would tell you to take Bears +7. Even if you don't think they'll win the game, please take the Bears +7. That's just too many freaking points here. The 49ers should not be favored by that much. I just don't believe in Trey Lance. And like I said, neither do the 49ers, or else they wouldn't have brought back Jimmy G. And so overall, at home, first game against the 49ers, the Bears taking advantage of the situation, I think can squeak out a 20-17 victory against the 49ers and win their first game of the season. I told you, for me, even though I have my analysis on how the Bears can win this game, it's still more of a gut feeling just because I'm not a believer overall in this 49ers team. I think they take a step back. So I've got the Bears winning game 1, 20-17. I'm going to stick with that, and we're kind of go from there. So let me know what you guys think. The Bears versus the 49ers. Who wins this game? Leave a comment down below. As always, thanks for watching.